please explain to us what a vulture fund is. in as easy a fashion. It sounds very exciting, and we know that you obviously have some very big plans going forward in regards to vulture funds. So it'd be fantastic if you could give us an overview of a vulture fund and basically the mechanics of how a vulture fund might work, and also give us some kind of insight as to how whether a retail investor can participate in a vulture fund, or is it a strictly institutional type opportunity?
Okay. Vulture funds, I think the name tag kind of came along actually in previous business downturns where different type investors would look to buy a company that was maybe on the verge of bankruptcy or in bankruptcy, buy it out, break it apart, and sell the pieces for more money than what the whole was worth. Mm-hmm. And they were kind of labeled vultures for picking at the bones of those particular companies. Now those were usually companies that were imminently going under or had. The term was then applied to real estate investors back in the 70s, and I think of guys like Sam Zell now, who heads up Equity Residential, his nickname was the Graveyard Dancer. That looked at, we had all these properties back in the 70s during that price correction that went to savings and loans. The savings and loans bellied up. They formed the Resolution Trust, the RTC, and people bought properties really for pennies on the dollar at that point. There were a lot of fortunes that were made by buying distressed property. We've seen it happen as recently as 1988 to 1992. That was the last real estate downturn in certain markets like Miami and Massachusetts and others. And really what a vulture fund is someone who doesn't look at buying things believing that they're going to go up in value immediately and that they're going to be able to sell them quickly for a profit, but someone who sees that prices are overdone, there's going to be price corrections, buying them at far below market value, and managing those properties until appreciation does return on them and selling them at a later date. Now, there's many different levels that you can participate. In particular, I consult and advise and have formed a strategic alliance with a large fund to look at purchases of blocks of units, of entire projects, of development sites, and potentially GCing some projects that go back to the lenders. I'm going to form my own little LLC company and offer opportunities only to accredited high net worth individuals to participate on some of our own deals, but also with the opportunity that we can take an equity position with the larger fund in some of the larger deals. There's different ways that you can participate. First off, y'all's website, I think, is going to be a great way for a lot of individuals to pick up some opportunities for distressed buying. There's other opportunities with participating in different funds, and individuals need to do their homework and find out which funds are targeting certain buying opportunities, what percentage they're looking to put capital into that. There's also going to be opportunities in buying directly from lenders at a later date as well. We're seeing a great uptick in people participating in foreclosure sales right now as well. So a lot of different ways.
So really sort of foreclosures, obviously monitoring the foreclosure market, and by the sound of it, you're looking to get involved in pre-construction projects, primarily block acquisition of pre-construction units.
Well,
saying that?
Actually, no. I'm not really interested in pre-construction, Max, because truthfully, I don't trust it right now.
Okay.
There's so many projects right now we're seeing that are getting canceled, even after they've held people's down payment money for a year, or in some cases over 2 years. Where now they're getting their money back in a 2 or 3% interest, where they could have got more if they put it in a savings account at the bank. So I don't trust pre-construction in this volatile market. We'll look at blocks of units that are near completion or in completed buildings where the developers have not sold them out. Now, in some cases, developers have played the speculative game as well, in that they've announced that their buildings are sold out, but truly they aren't. They've held on to units, planning on selling them once they were completed, like the speculators did, and realizing great gains. Some of those developers right now are getting caught holding the bag with 20 and 30% of the units in their buildings. So we're going to offer them basically an exit strategy, an opportunity to get their money out of their project. May not turn a profit. In some cases it may be a loss for them. Give them an opportunity to get their money out of their project and move on to more profitable endeavors where they can make much more money in the next few years.
Okay, very interesting. So, how does somebody find out about your venture, your Vulture funds rather? How is somebody, you know, we're going to have people looking at this video and people who are going to be interested in contacting you, quite honestly. How can somebody reach you? How can somebody find out about your funds?
Well,
what's the name of your funds?
Well, the name, actually I don't have any funds per se. I formed a new company called McCabe Acquisitions. We will offer some non-managing partnership opportunities, once again to very high net worth accredited investors. I'm not looking to be any type of small fund, and we're looking basically to remain private and not have to deal with any SEC regulation and oversight. So I'm really looking for experienced investors that understand my strategy, that believe in it, and want to participate. And I'm very easy to find, Max. I'm pretty much all over the internet, as you know. So there's lots of ways to get in touch with us.
Fantastic. Jack, thank you very, very much. We really appreciate all of your expertise, and hope we can have a chat sometime again in the not so distant future and have another recap of where we are.
Well, thank you, Max. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, sir.